According to the FBI in their 2018 article, Crime Clock, they state that every 30.5 minutes a murder happens in the United States. If you do the math, that's approximately 47 people get murdered a day. The Murdaugh murder cases was one of these cases and is a unique case of its own. There are so many different stories and so many different sides of stories to this case, nobody actually knew what happened. This case broke the internet in 2021, and there's even a documentary on Netflix about it. Today I will inform you about the Murdaugh murder cases, what happened, what other victims were involved in with the Murdaughs, and who actually killed Paul and Maggie. So, what happened? This case captured national attention due to its complex web of family ties, legal battles, and shocking events. The center of this case was Alex Murdaugh. He was a South Carolina attorney and was from a well-known family. Alex was a person of interest of these murderers, but nobody actually knew who it was. Alex is the dad of Paul and Buster and was the husband to Madi Murdaugh. At 10:07 p.m., Alex Murdaugh called 911 and said he found lifeless bodies of his wife and son near the family dog kennels. This is their hunting estate. It's a little blurry, but this is the only picture I could find of it. But this is their hunting estate, and this is their house. They're a few miles down the road from each other, but they weren't connected on pieces of the same piece of property. So you would have to drive from their house to the hunting estate, if that makes sense. According to NBC Universal LLC in their 2022 Murdaugh Families Murder Explained article, it states that Murdaugh calls 911 at 10:07 p.m. to say he's found the lifeless bodies of Maggie and Paul near the family's dog kennels on their hunting lodge estate in rural Colleton County. I've been gone. Murdaugh, his voice quivered, tells the dispatcher, I just come back. So that happened right next to this white building right here where they kept their dog kennels at, and where he found the bodies of his son and his wife. June 7th, Maggie and Paul were found dead at the family's hunting estate. So, you may ask what other cases were the Murdaughs involved with, and there's tons. And I've only found a couple that really have a bunch of evidence behind them that I'm going to tell you about. So, according to the 2023 Independent News article, the Murdaugh Family's Murders Explained, they state for more than 13 months, no arrests were made in their murders, no suspects were named, and no charges were brought over their killings. Then, in July 2022, Murdaugh was charged with murder. Alex was the dad. So, Alex had been involved in many troubling events leading up to this. One of their victims was their household, Gloria Satterfield, which is this woman right here. She was her housemaid. She cleaned their house, did a bunch of stuff for them, and was basically a part of their family. One morning when they got home, they found her dead at the bottom of their staircase. They claimed that the death was natural, but nobody actually knew what happened. Still to this day, no one knows what happened. But her family never received justice. The next thing is a roadside shooting. 3 months past the murders that happened to Paul and Maggie on September 4th. Alex was shot on the side of the road in Hampton County. He survived and called 911 and had a superficial gunshot wound on his head. His story quickly unraveled. One day before the shooting, law firm partners accused him of stealing millions of dollars from his clients. His story rapidly fell apart on September 13th, and he confessed to the police he paid a gunman to shoot and kill him. This guy right here was the gunman, who obviously shot Alex Murdaugh in the head. The idea was so his son Buster could get a $10 million life insurance windfall if he passed away like the plan was. This guy is now in jail, but also they figure out later that Alex Murdaugh was a part of this murder case, and he also gets in trouble for it. The next case is Mallory Beach. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about this because I remember hearing about this on the news. In 2019, Mallory Beach died in a boat crash. Paul was the one, which was the son, that passed away. He was the driver of the boat, and he was drinking and driving the boat. And Paul was allegedly drunk driving a boat when he crashed it, throwing his friend in the water, which is when she died. Paul was charged with boating under the influence and was supposed to serve 25 years in prison. Alex Murdaugh did his son a favor and used his power of a lawyer and a high-end last name to get him out of prison. So he never even faced the charges of what he did to Mallory Beach. So you might be wondering, who actually killed Paul and Maggie Murdaugh? According to NBC News in their 2022 Alex Found Guilty of Murder article, they state, 2 sources close to investigate say that authorities have cell phone video that they believe not only puts Murdaugh at the scene of the slayings shortly before they took place, but also contradicts a previous timeline of events provided on the day of the killings. So, on July 20th, 2022, Murdaugh pleads not guilty to the murder charges. On January 25th, 2023, state prosecutors contend Murdaugh killed his wife and son at a close-range shot with a shotgun. Murdaugh pleads guilty to 22 counts of federal financial fraud, along with many of the other things he has done to get his son and family out of trouble. Murdaugh will face a lifetime in prison due to his killing of Paul and Maggie. According to AP News in their Alex Murdaugh Killed Wife, Son to Buy Time 2023 news article states that the court found a key piece of evidence collecting Alex Murdaugh to the killings is a video of Paul Murdaugh shot from the kennels about 5 minutes before his last cell phone use. It took more than a year for federal agents to hack into the young man's phone to find the video. So that is how they brought down to the wire that Alex was the killer of the son and the mom. So, in conclusion, Alex Murdaugh was a very cruel man and was involved in many crimes. They used their high-end name and their reputation to get them out of lots of trouble, and many of these families did not receive justice. These poor victims that were killed by the Murdaugh family finally received justice, with Alex serving a lifetime in prison. This case took years to solve, and Alex could receive the death penalty, but is still under wraps today. This case continues to unfold and shows that regardless of their background, they will be held to the same standards of justice. This case will always be remembered and will improve court cases in the near future. Thank you.